The War Within is nearly here, and a time-old question of every expansion is being asked: who should I main? Now, if you're a new player, returning player, hardcore sweat player, you all have this exact same thought process going into a new expansion, unless you're one of those players who intrinsically connects with their character and no matter what, you are going to be a demonology warlock because it's always the warlocks, then this video isn't for you. But for the rest of us, how can we choose a main for the War Within? I like to go off 3 basic criteria: difficulty, fun, and then, the least important for me, viability at endgame. So let's have a chat about those. So, difficulty. This is a big one for me because if you've watched any of my streams before, you know I'm not very good at this game. I just love World of Warcraft. I've loved playing it since the Burning Crusade. Obviously, I've taken gaps like everyone does, but yeah, I'm not very good. So when it comes to me choosing my main for the War Within, I have to consider how difficult the spec is to play. So unfortunately, that means my Brewmaster Monk from Mop Remix, you're going to the bench, mate. I know Brewmaster's lost all its button bloat. It's not so bad anymore. I just can't get my head around Stagger, and I personally don't want to research how to play it. Okay, I want a much more straightforward class to play. So, how will I find out how difficult a spec is? Usually, I go to YouTube. Marcellian, Bellular, the Comeback Kids even, they're quite new to this, I think. And they all put out good videos, tier lists on how easy a class is to play. Number 2, fun. How fun is the class? Well, let's be honest, you can do research. Like I said, YouTube videos. A lot of those people I mentioned before have fun tier lists, especially Marcellian, and I actually usually agree with what they say, but the only way you're going to find out what class is fun for you to play is to get online and have a go. Choose a few that you think you might like and just see how they feel. For me, I can't do caster specs. I can't do mage, priest, none of those. It's not for me. So I know I have to choose a melee class. For you, you might know you don't want to do tanking, you want to be a healer, so you're going to try out a few healer specs. But whatever you decide, have a go at maybe 1, 2 or 3 of your favourite classes and see how they play, to see if you think they are fun, and obviously to check if the videos before were right and if it's the right difficulty level for you. And my 3rd criteria is, of course, viability at endgame. Now, I might have said that I think it's the least important, but for me, I'm on a new path in World of Warcraft. I've decided that I want to do some end game content at an okay level. I'm not talking about mythic raiding. Maybe we could push to heroic, but we'll see. I'm not going to stretch myself too far because, as I've said, I'm not very good, and I'm going to stay within my comfortable bubble because I want to enjoy the game. But yeah, viability, once again, the best place to go to check this out is YouTube, Discord, forums. Find out how people are only predicting the class to be, because this is before the expansions even come out. But obviously, if you're watching this after the expansions come out, it takes them usually 1, 2, 3 weeks to decide which classes are good or not. There'll be so much information online. Just go on there and find out. But once again, unless you're planning to do ahead of the curve like mythic raiding, rank 1 PvP, mythic keystone master, you know, realistically you're going to be able to achieve your goals in the game on whatever class you want. If you just want to do normal raiding, you're going to be fine on whatever class you want. So don't stress about it too much, okay? But for those who are, you know, they know they're good gamers, they know that they can push the end game, you might want to take a little extra thought process in picking your class. Now, to put my 3-stage plan in motion, I guess you could say, this is my warband, and these are the 4 characters that I would consider maining going into the War Within. We've got Demon Hunter, we've got Paladin, Druid, and of course Death Knight. So, the first criteria was difficulty. And this is going to be a really good insight into how I am as a player. I find Demon Hunter a bit too complicated to play. Demon Hunter players will probably be rolling their eyes. I'm aware it's not so difficult. But for me, I've played it since Legion and I've never been able to perform well on it. So I've decided that it is time to make a change. Next up on the list, Ret Paladin. Now, I've been playing Ret Paladin a little bit in the pre-patch. I find it very fun to play. The hero talents that I've seen clips of look very fun to play. I've got two options. A hero talent called Templar, which is more hands-on, and a hero talent called Herald of the Sun, which is more passive. So I'm going to give both of those a try in the War Within to see which one I would prefer playing. Obviously, we then have Druid. If I was doing Druid, I'd be a Guardian Druid. I like bears. And to be honest, this was high up on the list, even though it's got quite a lot of slander from testers saying that it's boring, it's not had enough work done to it. I've played around in pre-patch and I quite enjoy it. However, this is probably going to be a no, because if you've watched my Kata Classic playthroughs, I am doing Guardian Druid on there, so I don't want to do too much Druid. I'm not one of those who my class becomes my whole life. I like to play quite a few. I'm an altaholic, if I'm being honest. So if I'm doing a Druid tank on Kata Classic, I'm probably going to give it a miss on the War Within. So that brings me to my last option. Ret Paladin's there, but also Blood Death Knight. The Blood Death Knight talents, the hero talents, are pretty interesting. You've got Deathbringer, which by all reports is extremely fun and simple to play. And then you've got Sanalion, is that how you call it? Where essentially you're just a vampire or something along those lines, which obviously in my head sounds awesome. That is definitely up there. The only thing that's making me question whether I'll do that is, do I really want my first foray into endgame in retail, at least, to be as a tank, where a lot of people are very impatient, probably don't want to give you time to learn, and I will be pugging for the main chunk of my endgame gameplay, I imagine. Tank is probably not a good solution. If, after a few weeks, I'm enjoying playing Ret Paladin, I've learned all the dungeons, and I want to give tanking a go, Blood DK is 100% up there. But as you can see, I've gone through my list, and for me, I've come to the conclusion that Ret Paladin is what I'm going to main. And it certainly hasn't been hindered by the fact that a lot of the lore in the War Within, especially with the Arathi, seems to be based around paladins and all that stuff. So yeah, and also this banging music that has been released by Wowhead from the Arathi is awesome. Give it a listen. Okay, thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Please leave a like and subscribe, and let me know what class you're going to go with the War Within. If you've changed class, let me know why. And yeah, I go live Tuesday, Thursday and Sunday. I will be doing War Within and Kata Classic content. Yeah, have a good day. Bye. I hope you've liked already. Yeah, now subscribe. Now go press one of those videos that you see on the screen.